And now for my next number, I'd like to return to the classic.
Time. Hello everybody, I'm back. That's right, a new Vinyl Finds video. I'm just glad it's not as long of a wait to this one as it was for the last time I did one of these. Still trying it out from the new angle. Let me know how it looks. I think it looks okay. I love how that looks in the background and what have you, so we'll do that. What's playing in the background is this. Van Morrison's Back on Top. My first time listening to this album, and I'm already liking it. So there we go. Let's not waste time because we have a little bit of stuff to get through. Starting off with some 7-inch singles. I apologize to anyone who's not a fan of these. I'll try and speed through these if I can, including one rare 7-inch single that I did share with you guys on Facebook if you saw. But a lot of these I'll try and speed through them and get to the good stuff for you guys. So we have The Cars, Just What I Needed, if you can see that. Backed with I'm in Touch with Your World. Stevie Wonder, If You Really Love Me. I didn't have this one yet, so nice to grab that. Backed with Think of Me as Your Soldier. Mr. Tambourine Man by the Byrds. Backed with Lady Madonna by Gary Puckett and the Union Gap. Charlene, I've Never Been to Me. Backed with Somewhere in My Life. It's okay, that one. Lynx, So This Is Romance. Backed with the Rio mix of the same track. This is the rare one. This is Brandy and Monica, The Boy Is Mine. Has the original intro on it. And has the instrumental on the flip side. And has the original price tag up in the top corner as well. If you can see, you can't see it, but originally was £4 from Albino's. Because this is the American press. But it's £4. So there you go. So obviously not the original price, but still nice to have that. American Press, a pretty rare single. One of my favourite 90s R&B songs, so I had to pick that up when I found it. Went a bit quicker in the store when I did. Glenn Washington, Where Will I Go? A reggae 7-inch. I hardly pick up any of these anymore, but nice to pick one up every now and again. Back with Version, or it's a dub version of the same track. And Commodores, 3 Times a Lady. Backed with Can't Let You Tease Me. This 3 Times a Lady was great live when I saw Lionel earlier on in the year. So they're the 7s. Let's get to the albums. Kicking things off with 3 things I found in a charity shop. I don't normally pick up this much stuff. I normally find like 1 or 2 decent things every now and again, but I found 3 things. I know, it's crazy. Even I'm surprised. First thing was the 12-inch single for Again by Faith Evans. Now, while her solo stuff's not the greatest, I do actually like this song. So I decided to grab that. At the time, she was married to her second husband, who was a producer, and he produced the whole album that she was working on at this time. So this is nice to have this in the collection. Nothing wrong with a bit of Faith Evans, 2000s R&B. I don't really see a whole lot wrong with it, to be honest. Grabbed it because it's one of my favorite, one of the few songs I like from Faith, so I had to pick that up. I grabbed this. This is an 80s reissue of In the Wee Small Hours by Frank Sinatra. Normally I don't pick up 80s reissues, but I liked the cover on this one, because obviously you've got the original cover there, and then it's the record on the record player with a whole bunch of stuff going on. Like, this is what I wish my house looked like. Sort of stuff on there. Yeah, 80s reissue, but you know what? For an 80s British press, the vinyl isn't too bad. It's on the Purple Capital label, and it was in nice shape to begin with. but the vinyl is not your typical 80s British vinyl, because normally it's almost like paper, pretty flimsy. But this is actually decent vinyl for a change. So I was surprised when I put this in on my Discogs and found out it was an 80s reissue. But no, I grabbed this one mainly because of the cover. Like, the cover was different to what you would usually see on this Frank album, so I had to grab that one and add that to the collection. Not a huge collector of Frank Sinatra, but every now and again when something I find interests me, I'll pick him up. And the final thing I grabbed from the charity shop, not the or thrift store, I guess, if you're across the pond, which most of you are, something that the cover's not great, but the vinyl was perfect, so I grabbed it just on that, and that is the soundtrack to the Magnificent Seven, Return of the Seven. You can see there's like loads of wear on the cover. You'll see as well, it's like that, but the vinyl, it's like it's never been played. It's almost brand spanking new. And I was very, very surprised. I haven't had a chance to play this one yet, so no idea how it sounds, but it looks incredibly. I mean, it looks like one of the, like it's almost fresh out the factory. Like I said, the only problem is the cover. You see down here, up here, and all on the back here. But you know me, I don't buy albums to listen to the covers. So that's that one, the soundtrack to the Magnificent Seven. I love the remake to the movie, the new Magnificent Seven from a few years ago. So I figure I'll pick this up, give it a shot. Haven't seen this film, but I do like a cheeky film score, so happily pick that up. Right, moving on. Where do I begin? Where do we begin? Yes, okay. Kicking things off here, I grabbed another soundtrack, one I didn't have yet, and for some reason, I don't know why I didn't have this yet. I think I just put it off because I saw it so many times and I saw it cheap, and then I stopped seeing, and I could never find it in a nice enough condition. Finally, I found one, the soundtrack to Woman in Red. Because it obviously has the song I Just Called to Say I Love You, which I think I have about 3 or 4 times now. Ridiculous. And it's not even my favourite Stevie song. Although I do like the song, what's it? Love Light in Flight. I love that song. So I had to grab it just for that. Obviously the movie is absolute garbage. But I picked it up just for the Stevie songs, because there's a lot of songs Stevie did that only came out on this soundtrack. And of course, you've got Dionne Warwick on this soundtrack as well. Obviously on Motown, because that's like the only label Stevie's ever been on. Very, very clean copy of that. Super, super stoked to pick up the nicest copy of this I think I've ever seen, because I never had a copy of this. And well, the movie. Well, I don't like the movie, I love the music in it, so there you go. Woman in Red from 80, is it 84? Yeah, 84. There you go. And when I grabbed that, I also grabbed a 12-inch single for Nasty by Janet Jackson. I know you may or may not be fans of 12-inch singles, but I had to grab this, as Nasty is maybe my favourite Janet Jackson song. This and possibly one other song, but this one I just had to grab it. Especially with the resurgence Janet Jackson's had recently, performing at Glastonbury and places like that. So, yeah, had to pick that up. Now, you're going to see a whole bunch of 12-inch singles coming up soon. I'll leave the rest of the 12s till later, I think. Because I know not everybody's a fan of 12-inch singles, so I'll leave those till near the end. But for now, I'll get to the newest addition to my collection here. So just do some rearranging a little bit. This is a compilation called OG Kush. Now what this is this is a compilation built of jazz funk and rare jazz funk and funk songs that have been sampled by big hip hop artists and producers and what have you. So, you know, you've got Ronnie Foster's Mystic Brew on here, Isaac Hayes' Hung Up on My Baby, Ernie High's Our Generation, Blackbird's Mysterious Vibes on here, Gary Bart's Gentle Smiles on here. Yeah, you've got loads of great songs on here, and it's worth it alone just for the Isaac Hayes and the Blackbirds song. On that, come on, this one. I've left it in the shrink because of that hype sticker, but this one also comes on a very nice clear green vinyl, which I don't think I had anything on green vinyl yet, so that's super nice to grab that and add that to the collection. And I'll give you guys a needle drop of the Blackbird song that's on here, because hip hop people may recognize it, may not, but everything on here you should recognize, because everything on here, as the hype sticker says, featuring hard to find drum breaks, original samples, and an unrelenting groove. OG Kush pays homage to the hip hop's golden age and beyond by presenting some of the most iconic samples in their original form. What this is one of 4 albums that they did for this. Hopefully I can get the other 3, because this is going to be a very nice little thing, but this one was maybe, I had to grab this one first just for the Blackbird song that's on here. I mean, I have some Blackbird stuff already on vinyl, but not that track, so had to grab that one and add that to the collection. So yeah, that's a nice little cheeky little compilation there, and here is a little taste of the Blackbirds' Mysterious Vibes. Enjoy. Alright, now that you've listened to that, here's a couple more funk albums that I picked up. Ohio Players, First Fruit. Anything Ohio Players, whether it's a studio album or a compilation, I pick it up because their stuff is always difficult to get hold of. This is a compilation, but it's nice to have it. They always have very interesting album covers as well. So I grab them just for the album covers, but also just for the music as well. And I try and find a lot of their 70s stuff, because that's when they were at their prime. This one, of course, US issue on the Upfront label. But yeah, just a nice little compilation. Another one I haven't had the chance to listen to yet, but no, this one is going to be good, I can tell, just because it's Ohio Players, and to me, from the 70s, they don't really have a bad album, so even though it's a compilation, but yeah, there it is, First Fruit by Ohio Players. The last album of the video is actually a 90s reissue. Now, normally 90s reissues, I know they can be a bit iffy because that's the time digital music was starting to be quite prominent and digital mastering was beginning to take place, but this one sounds good for a 90s reissue because it's 1990 reissue of the Meters' second album, Look Kapai Pai, and it's a reissue from 1990. Now, it does sound decent, and I think it's just on the is it just on the cusp? I think so. I think it's just on the cusp of that digital era. Let me know if I'm wrong, but I could very well be. It's on the Rounder record label. This is a very, very clean copy of this. Sounds incredible. The vinyl's not great on this, despite being a US press, I think. Yeah, the vinyl's not brilliant, but the pressing is great. And anything by the Meters, I love it. And surprisingly, my first Meters album, because anytime I find the Meters, they're priced way through the roof, especially for a guy like me who's on a budget. And then on the back's a little history of the album here. Obviously the track listing, who the Meters are, where it was recorded, and all your usual credits there. But for some reason, I prefer the cover on this reissue to the original cover, which was very similar to this image here. But I prefer this cover, just because of all the colours and things, which is really strange, but still sounds good, so I'm not complaining. Great reissue. And yeah, every track on here was a winner. I think I'll probably, even though you guys probably know this album if you're into funk music, I'll give you guys a little taste of Rigor Mortis, because, or, no, I'll give you a little clip of the title track, Look Kapai Pai, just so you can hear how this reissue sounds, and, because to me it sounds decent, but that, you know, there it is. Anyway, here's that. So now that you've listened to that, I'm going to get to the 12-inch singles. Now, what happened with these 12s is a DJ came in, a former DJ, with his whole collection, selling off his collection in the shop. And my boss got the collection cheap enough to the point where he said, I can pick out, within reason, I can pick out 6 things that I wanted. And he let me take them. So I picked out the 6 I wanted to grab. I think if you totaled it up as to what we'd sell it for in the shop, not to reveal any secrets here, probably about 60, 70 pounds worth, maybe that's about 75, 80 $80 worth of stuff here for nothing. So result. But I'm going to reveal these one by one, starting off with this Sandstorm by Darude. Terrible song, but I mean it's still popular in my area to this day. I always have to play this when I'm DJing. If I can fit it into a set, then it always gets everybody on the dance floor. So just in case when I do a vinyl set and I need to play this song, I've got it just in case, because that song's still very, very popular here in England. Usher, Caught Up, one of maybe my favorite Usher song. But yeah, no, off of the Confessions album. There's a few remixes on here. I haven't listened to the remixes yet, but this is a nice little song, my favorite Usher track, so I had to grab that one. Eminem, Sing for the Moment, didn't have this one on 12-inch yet, so I just grabbed it. I wasn't too fussed about owning this one on 12-inch, but the opportunity came to grab it, so I grabbed it. And it has Rabbit Run on the flip side, as well as the instrumental to Sing for the Moment. And the only other way to get Rabbit Run is on the 8 Mile soundtrack, which came out round about the same sort of time that the album with this song on it, the Eminem Show, came out. So nice to have that. And I could notice I'm wearing my Eminem t-shirt. That was not planned, I promise you. This is maybe my favourite track from the Chemical Brothers, Galvanize. Features Q-Tip on vocals. And this has its original inner sleeve. You just don't see Chemical Brothers on 12-inch. This is maybe my second favourite Chemical Brothers song. Has Electronic Battle Weapon 7 on the flip, so I need to listen to that yet, but nice to have Galvanize on a 12-inch. The next one I want, I think, is Leave Home. I think that was the Chemical Brothers' first single, but yeah, this one is up there in my top 5 favourite Chemical Brothers tracks, so I had to grab that one. Intergalactic by the Beastie Boys. How can I not grab Beastie Boys, especially with that cover? I mean, look at it. Boom. There you go. Beastie Boys. Beastie Boys is Beastie Boys. Anything Beastie Boys, I'm gonna grab it. If it's a Beastie Boys single, I'm gonna grab it. If it's a Beastie Boys album, I'm gonna grab it. If it's a Beastie Boys bootleg, I'm gonna grab it. Not that I have any bootleg Beastie Boys yet, but I would have grabbed it. Anyways, there's one more here. And this is just an upgrade copy because my copy wasn't in the best of condition and I wanted a better one because this is one of the first hip-hop tracks from this time period that I heard. And I just wanted a better copy, and that's Hey You, the Rocksteady Crew by the Rocksteady Crew. Yeah. And obviously has the instrumental on the flip, the extended version on the A side, and this, while the vinyls are pretty much the same, the vinyl's a lot nicer than the one I had, and it was pretty beat up when I got it originally anyway, so nice to grab this, especially with this cover. I do like that cover artwork, so nice to grab an upgrade copy of Hey You, Rocksteady Crew by the Rocksteady Crew. And with that, that's going to do it for this video, guys. Jesus, 20 minutes long into this, and we've only just wrapping this up. If you're new here, please subscribe. We are so close to 200. I want to get to that 200 mark before the end of November. I hope we can do it. So yeah, hopefully we can get there. But guys, thanks again for tuning back. If you're new here, like I said, subscribe. And even if you're subscribed or not, make sure you have the bell notification turned on so that you never miss an upload. And I will see you guys again very soon, hopefully. Peace.